Let's just share with you another one of the objects in the museum's collection. This is a samovar. For those of you unfamiliar with the object, samovars are for serving tea. It's a rather unique invention, originally developed by the Russians. Two brothers, Ivan and Nazar Latsitian, first created the samovar in 1778, the first samovar. What it is that this is a body urn for water. What's unique about a samovar is the heat underneath actually rises in the middle of it through a chimney and up to the top. Usually we associate samovars with Russians because they invented it, but it's also very common in the Caucasus, in Iran, Afghanistan, and down into North India. All tea cultures that drink a lot of tea. And Armenians in Hayastan drink a lot more tea than they do coffee. It's just the culture. This piece was originally acquired by Arthur T. Gregorian. Arthur T. Gregorian was a rug dealer who was the most prominent Armenian rug dealer in the Boston area. He was also founder of the museum. These are some books that he wrote. And a very prolific writer. And he acquired this in Iran during one of his trips when he goes back to Iran in order to buy rugs. He was born in Urmia in the northern Iran. Anyway, but Arthur had this in his home, wonderful piece, and everybody admired it and said, Arthur, that should be in the museum. And Arthur said, well, after I die, they're welcome to it, but right now I'm going to enjoy it. And so he would use the samovar in the house. And but eventually Arthur did meet his maker, and the samovar was donated to the museum. One of my jobs is at the museum is I'm supposed to write up descriptions of the objects for like an Antiques Roadshow, about with history of etc. But really I didn't know much about samovars, so I asked George Bezgian, one of the local jewelers, who helped me a lot with identifying jewelry, to help me write this. And so George comes in and looks at us and says, oh my God, that's a magnificent piece, but it's not my specialty either. Let me call my friend Anton, get him over here. Anton Antonik Boskanian was a silversmith in Iran. So we have the samovar here, and along comes Anton. Anton takes a look at it. Wow, that's a really nice piece. That was made in 1961 in Tehran. When he said that, George and I looked at each other and said, Anton, how can you be so specific about that? He had this huge grin. I made it. This is one of his pieces they had made in Tehran. And then he showed us the maker's mark on it, which is here. And we said, well, the maker's mark shows Vartan, not Anton. And Anton said, yeah, he was my boss. I worked for him, so anything that I did had to have his mark on it, but that was the maker's mark. Now, the piece itself, the workmanship is very typically Iranian rather than Armenian, although it was an Armenian that made it, because it was made for the Iranian market. And so this kind of beautiful, elaborate scroll work is called Shah Abbas work. And so for a samovar like this, the plugs will come out here to fill the water in the bottle. And when this heats up from the heat rising from the bottom, if you need any steam to come out, you use this to get rid of extra steam so the pressure doesn't damage the samovar. And it heats up the top part, the teapot. And the teapot is a very high concentrate of tea. You can't drink it straight. It's just too thick to do. So what you do is you take the teapot and you pour it into your cup, and then you need to dilute it. And so this is the tap and the key. They call it a key for the tap in order to release the water. So you put your cup here. This is called a drip bowl because they do drip. And so you dilute the tea to taste. Most people prefer it about 1 part concentrate and 10 parts water, but they consider that the ideal tea. But there are some people like a little stronger or a little more diluted, so they just add the water or subtract water to taste in order to get it. And this is the most elaborate samovar in our collection by far. It is a museum piece. We're very, very fortunate to have it here.